Mike, you cover the team, so you know the ins and the outs. Kind of take us behind the scenes. You alluded to something you heard a minute ago, but I mean, what do you think? What have you heard so far, and what do you think you're going to continue to hear from that coaching staff, that front office, and especially from that locker room?
Yeah, there's a genuine feeling of, what are we doing here? Is this going to work? Not everybody, obviously, is 100% all in. You wouldn't expect on a big decision like this with that many people involved. But, I haven't heard about any outright, feelings of no way we should be doing this. This is ridiculous. Among the team, the question I have is, can any of those guys afford to really worry about Tim Tebow? Because you look at the 90-man roster, and it's like 52 of those guys have one or fewer years of experience in the NFL. They're just trying to make the roster. That's what they need to worry about. They don't need to worry about who this other tight end is and all the press and all the media circus that's going on with Tim Tebow. So, Urban Meyer was his college coach. He understands all that stuff. He dealt with it at Florida. He knows the kind of media circus that Tebow, brings, and he was able to navigate it when he was at the University of Florida and make sure it didn't become an issue in that locker room with 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old kids. So I'm pretty sure that he's going to be able to handle all that kind of stuff here, and we'll see if there are any issues. I think in the NFL, the guys know if you can play. And players talk about it among themselves all the time. If they see a guy out there that they know that can't play, they know that guy's going to be gone, pretty quickly. Now, the issue becomes if it's evident in everyone's eyes that Tebow can't play and he's still around and he still somehow makes the 53-man roster. Then you may start to have some guys grumbling and some guys start to question what's really going on. But right now, Urban Meyer, all I've heard from players is how excited they are. They're eager to get going. He's invigorated the building, and I don't see any players having any issue with it right now. A lot of stuff that's been out on social media has been from, former NFL players and stuff, so I haven't heard anybody complaining about it at this point anyway.
Mike, let's go through the calendar. You alluded to what's happening right now next week. Take us through what happens, because you can imagine this. The audience we have here is riveted to literally everything Tim Tebow is doing. So what's the calendar look like between now and training camp?
Well, they've got 10 organized team activities over the next 3 weeks, and then they have a mandatory mini camp, which is June 15 through 17. And then they're off from that point until training camp begins, which is typically, around the 22nd, 23rd, 24th of July in that general area. So from mid-June to then, the players are gone, the coaches are generally gone, taking some vacation time with the family. I expect Tebow's going to be working his rear end off throughout that entire time to try and get any extra work that he can. And, we'll see that it'll be like 6 days once training camp starts before they're really in full pads. And that's when we'll really get a good idea of whether he really belongs out there too. I just can't imagine him being able to pick up all the nuances and the fundamentals of blocking relatively quickly. So I think that's going to be the time to watch where he'll be able to kind of show what he's learned in the first, the 10 OTAs and the minicamp.
So the OTAs and the minicamp are great for social media buzz, but you're telling us we won't know until late July or maybe even into August.
Right. Yeah. I mean, look, they're running around in helmets and shorts and stuff, and everybody looks good in OTAs and minicamp. If you don't, you've got a really, really bad football team on your hands. So, you can't see the physical part of it. Guys aren't hitting. You can't really see much of the blocking part of it. There's some one-on-one pass rush stuff, but it's really not what you're really going to see once the pads go on. That's the true measure. So, I expect Tebow to kind of dazzle a little bit in OTAs. He's a really good athlete, as we know. He's got good hands, and he's a strong kid, so he'll look the part. It's just going to be when the pads go on and the real physical play starts, where does he stand there?
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.